Right, and on to the last thing I'm gonna play. I think there's like a couple other Concrete things, but I can't remember what they were. So this is... I mentioned that the Nullspace reference in Z374 was going to be important, and it's because it pretty much directly ties into this. Which is a mini-episode based on a QBJ2 map that I had submitted, which is also included in this. There's like, I think 5 maps? Yeah. Sort of focusing on concrete blocks and funny shapes, I guess. I felt kind of weird about including that in QBJ2 because it's kind of more minimalism, but I guess there is kind of a brutalist aspect to it. But yeah. Maybe I could have like lessened the fog, but I don't know. The entire reason this ended up coming into existence is because I wanted to make a sequel to the original Nullspace map, and I kind of kept making more and more maps around that theme. Mostly because I was kind of really frustrated with how Z374 was going for that alkaline conversion, so I ended up taking out part of that frustration and putting it toward this, because it seemed like it was going to be more productive at the time. So yeah, if I remember right, there's a thing up here. This is also why I said the platforming thing would come back later, because this entire thing is shockingly platforming heavy. I guess it's just kind of what happens when you make void maps, huh? Okay. But yeah, pretty much all 5 of these maps were made using the same, roughly the same textures, and I ended up building them using the same lighting template, mostly for consistency. And then pretty much all the music in this was taken from the Runic Music Jam. A surprising amount of those tracks work very well in brutalist themed environments. I ended up picking 5, and there was a lot of other candidates that ended up not being used. So yeah, those might make an appearance, assuming Rocket Man, assuming QBJ3 ever happens. I mean, it's gonna happen, but whenever that gets announced, probably not anytime soon. And I believe the Nightmare Selector is down there. So yeah, you got your easy pillar, which is over here. Pretty easy to access. I'm gonna start over because the thing happens here but also I don't want to carry the rocket launcher in. The rocket launcher is mostly there because it's kind of just a fun weapon. I can imagine if you do an entire run with that rocket launcher, probably breaks a bunch of things, but since it's, hidden up there, I think it's good enough. Yeah, so that's easy. Normal's over here. Not a whole lot of platforming required for that. And then hard's over here. And then Nightmare's down there, which requires this time jump, which I'm not particularly great with, even though I made it and I know it's possible to do. Hey, first try. Now, in a bit of leniency, I did decide to not include a kill plane in the start map. There was a bit where I wanted to, and I decided against it. Mostly because I think that would just be extremely bullshit. Anyway. Probably shouldn't have saved there, huh? See, I know this is doable because I did it when I made this, and I know that, yeah, I was able to do this when I made it, so I know it's doable. Also, I'm not entirely sure how OBS is going to handle this because it seems like, and I don't think it's just me, it seems like OBS has a really weird time with encoding regular white. It does like this checkerboard thing. There we go. And like, I know that this is doable on Nightmare, but personally I prefer to play this on hard. Actually, no, you know, I'll play this on... I think it should be fine. Because I'm going to continuous start this. I'm not... Like, all the levels are built for shotgun start, but I'm going to continuous start this. If you want to see me shotgun start these, I have a no commentary run of this where I played it shotgun start on my main channel. I really like this track. This track makes for a shockingly good intermission track. Anyway. So yeah, the first map is the original Nullspace from QBJ2. Slightly visually updated and slightly rebalanced. Like, for instance... There is... no, I don't think... yeah, there's no rocket launcher in this level. Ow. So yeah, 7 secrets. I think the original had 4, 5, I don't remember. Yeah, it's still interesting to me. This this here was originally like a scaling fuck up on this. I originally meant to like scale this up more than this, but I ended up keeping it like this. One of the levels actually has kind of what I envisioned for this, so, you know, some cool stuff. Yeah, I don't remember exactly how this is on Nightmare. I know the ending level is particularly tough. Oh yeah, and the monster count has also been upped by 1. You know, it's not a funny number anymore, but, you know, I don't even remember what monster I added. Don't really need that. So this is basically just me replaying the original QBJ2 map in terms of general balancing, minus a few weapons, of course. Oh yeah, and the other kind of cool thing about this whole episode 2 is all the levels are built within normal, like, map bounds. So, again, you can technically play this on the remaster. Although, because of how Copper 1.30 works with the remaster, there's like something weird with the demos and the remaster doesn't really like them. It's a bit finicky, just like how I think ferric oxide and Temehuatl are. Which I should probably play that too. Yeah, so I think this is a new secret up here, because this is a new structure I added. There's a couple different ways to get to this. This is the intended. What was the intended, but there's other ways to get to this secret. Oh, maybe this is where that extra monster was added. I don't remember. Secrets, yeah, it seems right. And that's all the monsters. So originally in the QBJ2 version, this just kind of went into the fog. I decided to extend it and actually give the level a proper exit. Mostly because I wasn't exactly sure how I was gonna funnel another level into this. Like with the original exit. And then this one, I think... So I think the original build order for these was Null 1, Null 4, and then I think Null 2 came... Or was it Null 3? It might have been Null 3 next and then Null 2 last. Basically just kind of making these out of order and then arranging them based on how difficult they felt like they were. So yeah, this one was kind of more what I envisioned Nullspace 1 to look like. Nullspace 1 was kind of like a... I guess you could kind of describe it as a happy accident, but this was more what I was going for. Which the original inspiration for this is a Coagula map from Coagula Contest. I can't remember if it was Coagula Contest 1 or 2, but it's the map I See Dead People by Dilvish. Can't remember. Is there something back there? I can't. Is. Which, you know, that's a really... Coagula's like a really cool... You know, I'll get that later. Coagula's a really cool little map theme. I appreciate it a lot. I think you could do some really cool things with, the whole... You know, the whole, like, confined spaces in a void setting. A lot more uses of, like, a lot more use of, like, dark spaces in this one, as opposed to the first one. Yeah, I don't know. I think Coagula's a really interesting theme, and I think... Like I mentioned it before, I think if there was like a retro jam themed around it, it would be really interesting. But I don't know if Map Center's doing custom themes for retro jams yet. Hey, you weren't supposed to do that. Hey, you were supposed to do that. The fuck, dude? But yeah, I almost described this level as running around a racetrack multiple times. I think it's a fun layout. I might be dead here. Okay, no, I'm not. How did I not die from that? Crazy. How did I not die from that, man? There's the death. Yeah, I mean, I guess in retrospect, maybe I could have lessened the fog effect. I don't know, I think it's fine. There was kind of a goal of making it so things like that kind of silhouette off in the distance and aren't, like, completely visible. It kind of makes them look... In my opinion, it makes the structures look larger than they actually are. Yeah, so all secrets found. Fucking seriously, dude? So yeah, the idea here was to make this a general difficulty climb, and admittedly I think this one and the next level are kind of tied for difficulty, so it was a bit hard to really point which one I wanted to put in front of the other. Yeah, this map has some kind of interesting history. So this structure here, I don't know if I think I still have it. It's based on a scrap from, well, more of a sketch, I guess, if I can remember the name of it. What did I name this thing? I think it was this one. Yeah, okay. That one, load into... Right, okay. So, this level, the buildings in this level are based on... I'm gonna let it load first, let it catch up. Okay, so it's based on this, which in itself is based off of a screenshot I took from the anime Girls Last Tour. There's a scene where they're going through a bunch of these like metal locker looking things, and I thought the scene would incorporate well for like a bit in another thing, and instead of including this in that particular thing, I decided to take these buildings and try to work it into a map. So, you know, just some backstory with this one, I guess. So yeah, that structure turned into this and eventually this whole map. I was also trying some weird things with stuff like this. Just weird angled geometry and stuff. Basically, I think this is like the most abstract map in this, and honestly, it's visually probably my favorite one. But I do think this was one of the later ones that I ended up making, so, you know. I think in the README it says what the build order was for these, I just can't remember what it was off the top of my head. Because why would I retain that information? Anyway. Okay, so this here I had originally planned to have a fight here on this slope terrain. Turns out what I wanted to do doesn't exactly work in the Quake engine, because what ended up happening was I would spawn enemies up there and they would bounce down and fall into the void, so I ended up scrapping it. Maybe I'll find a way to actually make that usable, that like idea usable, but for now, no, sorry, not happening. Not entirely sure where he went. Maybe he went into the void, maybe he didn't. Do people actually like fall for those spam bots? I figured at some point they would have stopped, but no. And a bit more of like a subtle music track as well. Again, the Runic Music Jam has a surprising amount of tracks that work well with this general like vibe. I expect to hear more of these tracks used when QBJ3 starts, just because a lot of the songs in QBJ3 work shockingly well in a Brutalist environment. But I guess at its core, Runic can be kinda seen as like a Brutalist theme in a way. Because it's a lot of like harsh angled geometry and stuff. Right, I remember this being kinda just a tad difficult. I feel like I may have skipped a secret, but I'm not entirely sure yet. I don't remember this map's secrets particularly well. Like, I remember the one at the start. There's one up there, I think. And there's one over here, I believe. Beyond that, though, there's 4? Yeah, I don't remember where that 4th one is. Maybe I'll find it by accident. I don't think it's in the void. That would have been funny, but I don't think it's in the void. Right. I remember that jump being a little bit finicky. Like, I tried to time these in a way where you could, you know, jump when the timing is right. Admittedly, some of these might be a bit too strict. So yeah, there's a secret here. Oh no, yeah, I remember where these secrets are now. Okay. There's this one, which... There's 2 secrets here, I believe. That's a hole. I'd prefer not to fall in that. Right, it's not this. I think it's over here. Yeah, okay. That's where the 4th secret is. Well, outside the secret that I haven't. Anyway. That's where the 3rd secret is, and the 4th secret's up here. Now again, interestingly, I believe this one actually works properly, but that's because I don't think this funk bobs. Something about the enemies and, like, trying to jump on a sloped funk bob, it causes their movement to not work properly, and eventually they'll just bounce off of the funk bob. Yeah, we get a little bit funky here with some of these shapes. Then I go down here. Definitely not become a theme later. Ow, ow, ow. Right, I forgot you were there. And then this leads back to the start, yeah. So, you know, like I said, visually I think this is my favorite level. I think it does a lot of really interesting things and somehow doesn't break the compiler while doing it, and, you know, I appreciate it for that. And then this is what the original Nullspace II was going to be, but I decided because of the 160 monster kill count, and, you know, I decided based on that and how this level is, like, laid out in terms of difficulty to put this one as the penultimate level, because I just think it works better that way. Basically, if this level wasn't as difficult as it ended up being, I probably maybe wouldn't have ended up making the other ones to, like, try to fill a space there. Funny Oblivion switch. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. To be fair though, I'm starting this level with like 49 health. It's not exactly optimal. $64 health. We'll do this first, yeah. Because that gives me... I believe that's the only instance in this entire episode of a timed switch like that. Well... I guess no, there is no other time switches like that, no. Time platforms maybe, but time switches, no. I believe there was a secret over here. Yeah. Hey, you know, random small backpack, nothing really in it. Yeah, so this part was loosely based on a scrapped map I had for this episode. Basically, because I wanted to keep everything within normal map bounds, a lot of things kind of got cut. A big one that got cut was the potential idea for a vertical tower. Basically a giant tower where the player would have climbed vertically. I realized at a point if I kept the scale, that map was going to go outside the normal map bounds, and I wanted to keep things within the map bounds, so it got cut. Maybe I'll revisit that as a standalone thing, I don't know yet. Oh yeah, and a lot of these blocks also were, originally these were like flush with the walls, so they weren't like sticking out like that. I decided to make that change specifically because I didn't want to, fully incorporate corner jumping as a main part of this map. Only a little bit, not like a whole lot. Funny little Minecraft parkour section, you know, jumping on blocks and all that. Somehow I'm like running out of spikes a lot. I thought I balanced this pretty well for continuous start. Maybe I was wrong. Right, there's a vor there. I forgot about that. God damn it. Honestly, this is a pretty good reason why I don't immediately play my releases after I put them out. Waiting a bit gives me time to actually gauge on whether I'm having fun with it or not. Anyway. And whether the balance is actually, you know, good. Right, so there's a secret over there. I remember this jump being a little bit tricky. Especially if I miss like that, okay. Maybe it's easier from this angle. I think in the original build of this, that jump actually hurt you, so that would have been interesting. Because I think it was lower than that, and I think it dealt like 2 or 3 damage or something. I am realizing that I never actually adjusted the height on those blocks. Or the sizes of any of them. That's funny. Alright, now we get to what is probably my favorite area that I built, but also probably my least favorite, honestly. This area is really fucking tough if I'm remembering this right. Yeah, so I may have been a little bit inspired by Serious Sam when I was making this, just a little bit. I remembered Serious Sam doing this thing where they catapult enemies really far off screen into the arena, and I wanted to mimic that. I think this does a pretty good job of doing it. And I definitely want to do this kind of thing again because I think this is very interesting. Ow. Ow. Honestly, I'm surprised that everything is dead as quick as it is. I wonder what happened with that. Oh, okay. I feel like the grunts here were like a direct response to something that was brought up with High Noon, which is that I didn't use grunts enough in sniper positions, and I may have went a bit too far with that in retrospect. Let's do this one first. So this part of the level branches off into 3 pads, and you have to hit buttons there, there, and there. And that's what happens when you hit the buttons. Seem familiar? Kinda surprised that Vor didn't try to attack me there. Right, and I believe the last secret is over here. And that explosion right there is why there's a handful of spawns in the level. Because in order for that to actually play properly, you need a spawn preloaded in the level. So yeah, like I said, the second level that was officially built ended up being the second to last one that I included in the pack, because honestly this level is a fucking difficulty spike compared to the other ones. And I remember this ending being extremely cooked. So we'll see how this turns out. This is where you get the rocket launcher, and you know, the grenade launcher is, if you do continuous play, the grenade launcher is basically, it's like the reward for the previous level and also this one, because it does have a faster firing rate. So if you do continuous play, you get this as like a bonus. But yeah, if I remember right, the secret here, there's one unmarked secret if I'm remembering right, and I believe it's up there. Yeah, so you run up, you have to rocket jump here, rocket jump up there, and get up there. God, I fucking love this track, man. But yeah, you have to do all that to get that pent. And then you have to jump into the lava. I remember this. I remember this was originally a marked secret, and I decided that it was too over... It required too many steps for me to make it a regular secret. Because it's like such a weird, obscure thing. It's like, I don't expect anybody to find that normally. Yeah, so there's a spot here where you can go here, and then that gets you up here, and then you can fall into the lava pit and pick these up, and then you can start the fight. Now, I forget exactly how much health I gave this guy. He is killable with this. but I can't remember how much health I gave him. I can't remember exactly how I beat this in Nightmare. I think the idea, because if I remember right, Chthon tends to lead his shots better as you fight him. So I believe, because these are on a timer, I believe the strat is to basically wait for everything else to spawn. And then deal with the ads. I'm just theorizing, though. I'm not entirely sure how Chthon works in this. But yeah, basically you want to try to carve out a part of the map in the spawns to try to effectively kind of camp from. And I believe this is technically the safest corner to do it from. There's also this spot over here you can kind of kill stuff from as well. If I'm remembering this right, yeah. Interesting sound there. But yeah, the idea behind this fight was mostly just that I wanted to do more than the whole press a couple buttons and kill a Chthon thing, and Copper lets you do that. I don't know that many packs that let you use a killable Chthon, though. Right, okay. But yeah, I think originally I wasn't going to include this as like a potential camping spot for the enemies, but then I thought about higher difficulties and I'm like, might make sense to have something like that, I don't know. How much health I gave him. It might have been 2,500. Interestingly, though, I don't think the Copper Chthon, because, you know, normally he's not shootable, but I think Copper never made him explosive resistant, which is nice. I'd have to go back and look, but I don't think he's explosive resistant. I think the health value I gave him was 2,500 or 5,000. I can't remember. I think it might have... Did I give him scaling health on difficulties? Ah, man. There he goes. He's dead. Now I just gotta deal with everything else. But yeah, the most difficult part of this fight is definitely the waves of enemies that show up from the sky and are able to actually hit you in the scrags. Honestly, the scrags are probably the most dangerous part of this because they can reach you from anywhere. The other ones, they kind of have to funnel their way toward you so you can effectively find a spot and just destroy them that way. But yeah, the scrags are were definitely probably the most problematic part of this fight. Because, like I said, they can kind of just appear from anywhere. Right, where's this last guy? Right there. Thank you for firing your grenade launcher. And then probably the most deceiving platforming section in this, because I remember struggling a bit with this. Some of these are like timed in a really weird way. Yeah. Like, I tried to make this easier on lower difficulties by including more blocks, but yeah, this is deceptively hard compared to the other platforming sections. Because if you time this jump wrong, then you can't actually hit the top of the block. And of course, I needed a spawn to do the spawn explosion noise for these. Realistically, I probably could have done a better job of pointing to where the exit was here. But not much I can do about it. and no end episode text because I don't know if Copper supports... I think it does support custom end episode text, but I don't know how to do it. So I think there's like some weird finicky way that you have to do it, and I'm not really that savvy when it comes to that. But yeah, so that's the episode. I had fun making this particular episode. And honestly, I had fun playing it too. Shocker, the person that made it ended up liking it. I think it's not necessarily true. A lot of people don't like their creations when they go back to revisit them. But in my case, I particularly do enjoy what I made here. Is it the best that it could be? Probably not. Have I thought about doing more stuff with this? Yeah. Particularly because I've found certain things in the compiler that I really should have looked for when I was making this originally, because there was supposed to be a lot more liquids and stuff. Turns out you can turn those noises off. I'm just stupid and didn't notice. But yeah, there probably would have been like, because the part of the reason that I included the blood and not like the water or the acid is because the water and acid, and I think even like lava to some degree, I think they all make like the ocean sound, and I was trying to keep a certain sound profile for this, which is just the wind basically in the background. Trying to keep it as dead silent as I could, and the ocean sounds were not great because these levels are so open, there's not really an opportunity for the ocean sounds to shut up. But as I found out, you can actually turn that off. So now that I know that, maybe I'll apply that to something else in the future, because I did have like a couple sections got changed because they had like acid platforming and lava platforming bits, and those ended up getting replaced with just a pit. And the other thing I would have probably included are like waterfalls or bloodfalls, because I think that visually would have looked really, in retrospect, that visually would have looked really cool, seeing like a structure like this having like a bloodfall coming out of it from an unknown place. Yeah, there's things that I definitely probably would have changed, or you know, things like that. And if I ever do want to do another one of these, I have some ideas, because there were a couple of scrapped map ideas even before I came to that conclusion. Notably the giant tower that never made it to completion for this, because it was going to be too big. So I guess that is it. That was pretty much all I wanted to play for this segment. I guess I can show off what I was working on before I got kind of stumped on where I wanted to go with it. So I have been slowly working my way to trying to learn Remobilize. I don't know if I've showed this map off yet. I think I may have shown it off once. I'm not sure. If I did, I don't remember it, but I have been trying to make a Remobilize map for a bit, and so far this is what I've ended up with. I'm gonna reload my Twitch page because I think it's lagging. But yeah, so this is, I don't remember if I've shown this off before, but this is the thing I've been working on for a bit and kind of got confused with where I want to go. I'm thinking about changing this to just a start area. But I've been working on an ikwhite map, and I don't know, I thought an ikwhite map would go really good with Remobilize, and some parts of this are definitely cool. There's like basically no monsters. Those are like monsters included for a very specific encounter, but there's definitely an idea for something here. Like I want to do a thing that makes it so this is like a wall, and then that you like go over there and it like you do a thing and it like retracts this. I haven't quite figured out the specifics for this yet, but I've decided, since I haven't really done that much curved architecture in a while, that this would probably be a fun thing to do. I'm not entirely sure what the combat of this map is going to look like yet, and even like the layout's not like particularly like it's not like complete in any capacity. Yeah, I don't know exactly how I'm like really happy with this, that ikwhite has a texture that I can actually use for like a grapple texture. But yeah, so like I don't know exactly like I mean visually, like I obviously want it to look something like this, but like in terms of environmental theme, I'm not entirely sure what I want to do yet. Like there's you know, I need to work on these areas obviously, because I need to do a thing with this. So that's not completed. Need to do a thing with these over here. Haven't figured out what I want to do with that yet. Wonder what that jump pad could be for. I have an idea for these. I have an idea what I want to do with those, it's just not implemented yet. So yeah, there's like a decent chunk of this map done, but combat-wise, obviously, there's basically nothing in it. And layout-wise, it's not really complete, and I don't really know where I want to go with it at the moment, so... That would open that whenever I get bars put in there. But I have learned, though, is that ikwhite is a very weird texture set, and it's very easy to mess up and make samey looking areas. That is a death. I don't want to die right now. Thank you very much. Yeah, like obviously this level like kind of loops in on itself a few times. This is basically like the central area. And then I don't know what I'm gonna put out here yet outside of... Obviously I need to light that up there. But then I don't really know what I'm gonna do with any of this stuff out here yet. There's like ideas, like I want to make a thing where this wraps around and the player ends up there, and then they do a thing and bounce over there, because that's pretty much what this is here for. Obviously the key is not going to be right there, but the general idea here there's like a general idea for what I want to do here. Man, I don't know. Whenever I get motivation to work on this, I do come back to it occasionally, but I don't know when this is going to be completed. This is kind of a huge fucking mess at the moment. So whenever I get around to, you know, working on it, it's definitely a thing. Maybe I should like start another side thing until I'm... Yeah, maybe I should like start another side project until I come back to this. Oh yeah, and the other one too, I did a night version of, I don't know if I've shown this off yet. I don't know if I've shown this off, but... Where is it? Here it is. I might... Is it just copper, or is it... I can't... Yeah, no directory copper. Okay, so it's cop 130. I can't remember if I've shown this off before. I can't remember if I've shown this off before, but I was using this as a light test. Because I wanted to do something more night-themed, and for whatever reason, I decided to test it with this. I guess it's because, at the end of the day, Karnak kind of had the same thing, the Karnak demo, and then the actual Karnak version are literally day and night difference, in that Karnak demo is in the daytime and the real Karnak is at night. And I use this as like a light test, because I want to do like potentially do like a night-themed thing at some point, and this seemed like a good test bed for it. And I am really happy with how this turned out. Like, I know I need to probably... I think I need to replay High Noon, because I did the update for it, and then I never played the update for it, so I probably should do that. I'll probably include that alongside 2 other maps that I haven't played that I made. But I'm tempted to do the replay with this night variant, just because I really like the way this looks. Like, I think I need to tweak some other lights, but like I need to like tweak some lighting, like add some things, but in general, I really like the way this came out. Just, you know, sort of testing random things to see how things work. And like I said, I really like the way this came out. It's like a really nice nighttime scene. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go. I pretty much done everything that I wanted to do today. Tonight. When I come back, I will probably... Okay, so I need to get a game off of my SSD at some point, and I'm probably gonna make that the next thing I do, so I bought and installed Modern Warfare 2019, and as it turns out, that game is fucking ginormous for some reason, so I'm probably gonna make that the next thing I do. Mostly because I want that game off of my system, because of how big it is. For some reason, COD games are bloated to shit now. I don't know what the deal with that is. But That'll probably be the next thing I do. Maybe Modern Warfare 2019 will run better as well. Because I think that was around the time when the COD devs actually did care about performance, at least a little bit. So yeah, I'll make that the next thing I do just to get that game off of my SSD and make it so I can install other things. This has been fun. I'll be back later. Good night.